Is this your first time at Slutwalk?
Actually, no. We were here last year, and I'm actually the co-coordinator for this event.
Very cool. So what prompted you to want to take on such a big role in this?
Actually, my best friends are very heavily involved with the original Slutwalk in Toronto. That was the first one that I did, that I participated in. And it was just such a wonderful experience. I mean, I just love that people are doing it in cities everywhere, and it brings us like unity, you know, like globally kind of, for, you know, victims.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about the history of Slutwalk? Like, how did it start?
It was started by Sonia J. Barnett, who is actually a dear friend of mine, and she is she's an art director, but does a lot of things with like art and sexuality. And it came up in conversation that there was a police constable that had been going over to York University because there had been rapes there, and was essentially telling young women that in order to avoid being raped, that they should not dress like sluts. Even me, myself, my own father, you know, would tell me to wear my hair tied back if I was going to be walking, you know, late at night so somebody couldn't grab me by the hair. This is the culture that young women are growing up in, right? It's awful to live in fear. I don't want to be riding the bus, you know, late at night and have to be concerned if 4 or 5, you know, young men get on together, if something horrible, if they're going to harass me, if, you know, so it really does encompass a lot of things outside of just rape. But yeah, sexual violence and the culture that, you know, we're brought up in teaches young women to hide themselves, try and stay out of trouble, try not to drink too much, when meanwhile, really, it's young men that need to be taught not to rape. Yeah. Just the same as any, you know, mother would teach her son not to get a girl pregnant when he's 15. Why are we not also speaking to our young men?
Well, I think that it's an important event because it's like you're kind of standing up against slut shaming and like body shaming and stuff, and standing up against rape. And I always think that that's important because I am extremely against rape culture and everything to do with it.
Like, it's such an archaic idea that like you're solely valued based on like your sexual experience or lack thereof. So I think it's like it's good that we're getting out there and saying, no, you know, you can have as much sex as you want and you should still be respected as a human being, because it's ridiculous to like...
What attracted you to the event?
Well, I personally am a victim of sexual assault and extreme violence, manipulation, and control. And I understand the importance of overcoming. And I'm here to encourage and empower some of the other victims that are on their way.
Here we are at Slutwalk. Tell me what's going on. What's the atmosphere?
There's a good crowd, a little crowd, but the weather is kind of bad. It's kind of cold and rainy and windy, so it's not ideal for this sort of thing.
What do you think the reaction? What do you think people think about Slutwalk? Do you think they understand?
No, I've come in contact with a lot of people who are just like, oh, like women should cover themselves up because no wonder stuff happens. Like, they don't understand the whole idea that even speaking to, you know, your family or friends, sometimes they don't understand. Like, they'll tell you that sometimes women are doing it because they're flirting with you and because they want it, and that's why they're wearing these low-cut tops and short skirts, because they want something to happen. But that's not true. That's the big misconception that, you know, women are allowed to do whatever they want and they should wear whatever they want because it makes them feel good about themselves, and it's not an invitation for violence.
Like, I guess it's the prosecution side of assault, because so often women's sexuality or perceived sexuality is used against them in the courts, and they're put on trial, I would say, even more than the attacker.
So has there been some good press surrounding it so far?
Yeah, there actually has been. Like, this year, I think the response is way even better than last year. Like, last year, even just like people's reactions, like on the Facebook page and stuff, it's so much better. Like, people are getting it more this year, I think. Like, they understand why we're doing it.
Yeah.
How come you're putting paint on?
So I can write it out. Yeah.
Yes. So, are you excited for the soggy Slutwalk?
I am. I don't mind that it's a little bit soggy outside. It's still an important event. Thank you. I've just received a list of chants, which is also very handy.
Would you like to list off some of your favorites in there?
They're very, very nice and simple. Minimal, no means no. Or my dress is not a yes.
That's a good one.
I like the simple ones. Short and simple, easy to remember. See, they're popular. I hear them chanted elsewhere.
So can you describe the environment right now?
The environment, the atmosphere, or you mean the actual weather?
Well, you can do both.
I think despite the weather, everybody seems upbeat and ready to go. Turnout looks good. Lots of umbrellas. Everybody seems very prepared. I think it's going to be a good Slutwalk.
All right, so what do these chants say?
There's little like books that
They say,
chants. They're all numbered, and then attached to the megaphone is a book of chants, and they're all numbered, so they can be like, number whatever, and let's do this one. It's like my worst nightmare to run out of chants since last year. We only had 2 of them. It was like my nightmare.
What were do you remember what any of the chants were from last year?
Last year,
Dress is not a yes. Dress is not a yes.
except for it wound up morphing into eventually, like with a group of people, dress, not yes.
What do you want? Consent. When do we want it? Before
Now.
sex?
We're gonna say it over and over again. So I was like, that's not happening again this year.
All right, so what do we have this year?
We have 12 chants. Whatever we wear, wherever we go, yes means yes and no means no. Join together, free our lives, no one will be victimized. Shadow the silence, stop the violence. 2, 4, 6, 8, no more violence, no more hate. I like that. We will not be shamed, sexual violence must be named. My dress is not a yes, no means no. Yes means yes, no means no. However you dress, wherever you go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, sexual assault has to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, this rape culture has to go. No more blaming, no more shaming. I say consent, you say always. Consent, always, always. So, yeah, that's, those are some
Which one's your favorite?
2, 4, 6, 8, no more violence, no more hate.
So we have 3 guys here. What are your names?
Danny.
Ian.
Travis.
All right, so how did you guys all hear about Slutwalk?
I heard it through the Border City Brothers, actually.
Just through Facebook.
Through Ian.
And did any of you guys participate last year?
Yes.
What was your impression?
It was actually empowering. Like, as a male perspective, it's very empowering.
I couldn't make it last year.
I didn't know about it last year.
It's definitely geared towards women as a march itself. Unlike Take Back the Night, men are walking in this march today. So what does your participation mean?
As a transgendered male, I believe that, like, every female gets a chance, and they shouldn't be disclosed just by the way they dress.
I think it's important for men to participate because, like, typically men are the ones who rape women. Like, statistically, that's the case. So it's important for men to step up and take responsibility, and stand up for their gender and recognize that the patriarchal structure is what needs to change. And as a man, they have a responsibility.
Well, and that patriarchal structure too, it also it serves to dehumanize men as well. So I think it's important for men to participate in these sorts of things to sort of break down those barriers.
So what advice would you have for young men?
Stand up for the females' rights, because in this day and age, females, like, with all honesty, we need them. Yeah. And respect them for the way they are. Don't treat them like shit.
Slutwalk's really about victim blaming and challenging language around how female promiscuity is targeted. So I think it's important for men to, like Danny said, like, stand up and definitely challenge people who are using derogatory language.
Like I say, I think it's important. It's important for men to be here and to really feel empowered along with women, because it's that gender divide that's a problem as well, and like, gender is a social construct, right? So you need to.
What this is all about here. So having everybody out here representing, the cause is really wonderful. So myself, I'm just going to leave it at that, and let's have a look. Shall we take a stroll in the rain?
Stop the violence! Stop the violence! Stop the violence!
Really, if something is going on in your life, if someone is treating you poorly, violently, disrespecting you, then please talk to someone, whether it's the authorities or just someone in your own life. There's no one that should ever have to go through anything silently. And know that there are probably more of us out there than there really should be, but there are people in your community, you know, that will understand where you're coming from and that you can go to.
Stop the violence! Stop the violence! Stop!
The advice that I would give young women is self-assurance. It's so important for our young girls to have strong self-esteem. It's important for us older ones to encourage them. When we see them walk in the room, to celebrate them. And not to underestimate the value of encouragement.
Yes and no means no! Wherever we go! Yes and no means no!
I think the biggest problem behind rape and rape culture is that people don't think critically about the messages they get, be it from, you know, friends or relatives or popular culture about the acceptability of rape. So, for example, like, obviously no one is going to say, oh, I think rape is okay, but there are a lot of songs, for example, that suggest that, you know, what's normal is getting people drunk and then taking them home to sleep, and that's rape. It's rape. And so I think a lot of it's going to involve thinking critically, and a lot of it's going to involve speaking up about, you know, people's experiences.
Well, I'm going to be a little more blunt than you.
Okay.
I just have a bit of advice for the young men out there, and the older men too. We can't forget about them. Use your brains. Don't use something else.
I say consent, you say always consent!
Always!
Consent!
Always!
I say consent, you say always consent!
All right, this is Slutwalk.
Slutwalk.
Okay. Have you guys heard anything about that?
No, we're not even from here.
Where are you guys from?
America. We're from Ohio.
This is Slutwalk. It's to stop, like, rape culture and slut shaming. So what do you guys, when you saw this, what did you think?
That's awesome.
We were trying to figure out what it was, but I respect it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we respect that.
Out here doing that.
That's cool.
So these police just agreed to go. Are they here for you guys?
Yep.
That's
They're
awesome.
escorting us.
That's
cool.
sweet.
That's cool. You guys have a lot of support, or?
Yeah, it's pretty good. The newspaper's out and all the. I work for the college radio, but.
That's cool. Well, congrats. You guys keep it up. It's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys.
Wherever we go! Whatever we wear!
So what's the atmosphere like right now, Bev?
Well, you can see there's a lot of energy, but I don't see as much response from the crowd as I had expected, which shows us we still have a lot of work we need to do. Hopefully that changes over the next, few years or so, because obviously it seems to me, and at least, that it would be ridiculous to oppose a position that people don't deserve to get raped. But obviously it needs some time to sink into the community, you know? So, what do you think, Jeff?
Well, we're getting a lot of stares from people. That'll get them thinking.
What do you think about what's going on?
They are talking about the rape or something like this?
Yeah, to stop rape and to stop men from blaming women for rape.
Right. waxay tiri dumarku inay review xal u sameeyaan. No, it's not good. We are against for the rape.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Have a great day, guys.
Oh, you too. Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, sexual assault has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Sexual assault has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Sexual assault has got to go.
Okay, so everybody's excited. We're going to head over to Milk, and we're going to do an open mic, and that's where all, the speeches and stuff are going to be. I'm so glad the sunlight came out. Just in time for us to finish. Perfect. But yeah, we're going over to Milk to do all the speeches and stuff, so if you're interested, just head on over. We're going there right now.
Woo!
And thanks for coming out, even if you're not coming over there. Yeah, thanks to everybody who braved the rain and came out, because I know the weather is shitty, and so just keep an eye out for next year. Maybe we'll do it in August, and maybe we'll actually get some more weather. Who knows? Okay. So yeah, big round of applause for everybody for coming out. Thank
you. Wrap up thoughts.
Yeah, that was great. I was actually surprised by the number of people, especially young people. who decided to step up to the plate and join us while we were walking. That made me feel really good to see that, people were willing to get involved,
I was happy to see a number of people raising their arms from their cars just in support.